In some ways, it feels like these last 10 years have gone by so slowly. It might as well have been a whole decade. Oh, wait a minute. Greetings, one and all, and welcome to Tom's Hit Parade. By the way, I invite you to hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up if you like what you see, share this video with your friends, and leave me your thoughts down in the comment section. It would be very, very much appreciated. So, yeah, I've been gone for a few weeks. Didn't really intend to, but June has been absolutely crazy. I'll go into that in the next video, maybe. But I wanted to get this video out today if I could. Today is June 22nd. At least that's when I'm recording this video. Hopefully, I will put it out today. I only found out about this anniversary a couple of days ago, and so I was, really hoping to cobble things together real quick and give you a decent tribute. The subject of this video is the late film composer James Horner, and today actually marks the 10th anniversary of his passing. He died in a plane crash in Southern California back in 2015, on June 22nd, 2015. Yes, we lost him far before his time. He was a fantastic film composer. Probably my second favorite film composer, aside from John Williams, of course, being number one. And so I thought I would pay tribute to him and commemorate the 10th anniversary of his leaving us by giving you my top 10 favorite James Horner scores. And I will warn you, this is a bit of a strange list. I'm still deep in the process of building my James Horner collection. There are several soundtracks that I want to have of his that I don't have yet. And obviously, I can't call something a favorite unless I actually own it. At least that's how I feel about it. And so that, plus the fact that obviously in my teenage years and thereabouts, I kind of leaned heavy into the science fiction and fantasy films. This list will kind of favor those types of films. He did all sorts of movies, historical epics and dramas and all sorts of things, but almost as wide-ranging a breadth of stuff as John Williams did. And I've got several soundtracks here aside from what's in my top 10, along with one honorable mention. So, yes, he did the score from Braveheart. That was one of his most famous scores. This was a historical epic. Just not in my top 10, gotta say. But yes, a very, very good score there. And then we've got Jumanji, one of the action adventure fantasy scores that he did a lot of those. And yes, I actually have never seen this movie, and I really want to see it. I'm a fan of Robin Williams, and just have not taken the time to check this out. But in building my James Horner collection, it was one that I had to have. And in the early stages of building my James Horner discography, I kind of wanted to just grab whatever I found that was at a decent price. Obviously that's a good way to build your collection. And CDs, obviously, are at least for now still relatively low priced if you can find them in the right place. So yeah, decided to take advantage of the low prices as they are now. Then we have Glory, another historical epic. And this one, I believe, was oh no, it was not. It's not a Ron Howard movie. I thought it was, but yeah, another great historical drama film that James Horner scored. And then we have a lot of people might not remember that he scored a film in the Spider-Man franchise. This was The Amazing Spider-Man, the first Andrew Garfield Spider-Man film. He scored that. Very, very good score. Not sure I like it as much as the Danny Elfman scores from the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films, but still an excellent film. And he did his share of sequels as well. We've got Star Trek III, The Search for Spock, one of the classic films. And, obviously he brought back many of the themes that he did for Star Trek II, but he did overall make this a much more somber and dramatically underscored movie, as opposed to Star Trek II, which was much more action oriented. And yeah, I'll get into that a little bit later. And then we have Cocoon: The Return. He scored the original Cocoon film as well as the sequel here. Great movie. And he actually scored a sequel that he did not score the first installment of, and that is Aliens. I believe it was Jerry Goldsmith who scored the first Alien movie. But yes, this is one of his fan favorite scores. Again, not quite up there in terms of my own personal favorites. And just you got to remember, just this list is my favorite James Horner scores, not the best James Horner scores. So yes, there we have those. And now let's go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes of this video, which is my top 10 favorite James Horner scores, starting with an honorable mention. Here we have Casper, the 1998 film. 1995, sorry. It was directed by, I'm not sure who directed it, can't remember. It's not readily visible, so I can't tell you who directed it, but a great movie. I, of course, enjoyed the Casper cartoons back when I was a kid, and so I was very eager to see what they would do with a live action version, and I was not disappointed. Bill Pullman and Christina Ricci starred in it, and yes, a very, very fun score. I had to get the expanded edition of it. Yeah, lots of fun movie. Number 10, that was my honorable mention, by the way. Number 10, starting off the actual countdown, we have Deep Impact. And was this that was directed by Mimi Letter. For some reason, I think that every James Horner score is a Ron Howard movie. I don't know why. But anyway, a great drama movie starring, what is his name? Elijah Wood. But a meteorite that is threatening Earth to destroy life on Earth. A great score, as are all of these James Horner scores on my list. Very, very, very good score. I think there is an expanded edition. I have not picked it up yet. Unlike with John Williams, I am usually satisfied with the original releases of James Horner scores. I kind of broke the bank building my John Williams collection. So maybe in the future, down the line, I will replace some of these original versions with the deluxe treatments. Number 9 on my list is a real favorite of mine. It is Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Yes, gotta love this movie. I absolutely loved this movie because of its science fiction bent, I guess you'd say. But yeah, the score was actually. They didn't release the score until much later, and this is actually a re-release with a handful of bonus tracks on it. That was put out a couple of years ago, 2024. Yeah, lots of fun. The only reason this one is not higher on my list is James Horner aficionados will possibly reluctantly admit that he does borrow from other sources, sometimes even his own previous soundtracks. And on this one almost got him in trouble because he did borrow from Raymond Scott, who did I can't remember what the name of the composition is, but it's one that was used in all sorts of Looney Tunes cartoons and stuff. It's kind of a whimsical, syncopated theme that's associated with gizmos and contraptions and inventions and stuff that kind of made it Wayne Zielinski's theme, I guess, in the movie. And but yes, he did not give Raymond Scott the proper credit for it, so it almost got him in trouble. Almost faced a lawsuit, but he settled and stuff. So yeah, despite the fact that he does tend to borrow, or did tend to borrow a lot from other composers, including himself, you got to admit the guy came up with a lot of great, memorable movie themes, including my number 8 pick, The Rocketeer. A great, great soundtrack. The score, the main title, the theme of The Rocketeer is the most memorable piece, obviously, from this score. But yeah, this is the original version of the soundtrack, which I actually found for, was it 99 cents or was it even 50 cents? I can't remember. But yeah, it's, considering how scores, even the original versions of them, tend to go for a fair bit of money, unless they're like the really easy to find ones like Titanic and Braveheart. You find those in all the thrift stores and stuff. Those are dirt cheap because they're so common. But ones like this tend to go for 10-15 bucks, and I found it for $1 at a thrift store, I believe it was. So yeah, lots of fun with that one. My number 8 pick. My number 7 was a more recent film, a great blockbuster from James Cameron, Avatar. Lots of great, gorgeous, beautiful themes in this movie. It's a fantastic score, and it's one that I'm kind of surprised has not yet been given the deluxe 2-disc or perhaps even 3-disc treatment, because it was such a long movie and there was a lot of music in it. And so far, we have only seen the 1-disc uh, version of the soundtrack. So hopefully, at some point soon, we will get a deluxe reissue. And number 6, which has gotten a deluxe reissue, I just don't have it, at least not yet, is Willow, the classic George Lucas fantasy film. This one was directed by Ron Howard. One of James Horner's most frequent collaborators was Ron Howard. Yes, it was supposed to be a huge, massive blockbuster movie. It kind of flopped at the box office, unfortunately. Not sure why. I kind of enjoyed it. Well, maybe that's why. It's because I kind of enjoyed it. I didn't absolutely love it, but the music, like Willow's theme, obviously one of Horner's most recognized compositions, for number 6. And now we're getting into the top 5. Might be a little bit unusual uh, to some people, anyway. My number 5 is Cocoon, the original Cocoon film. Loved the title. I love the movie. Also, it's just a fantastic movie. I really, really enjoy it. Hard to find on DVD or Blu-ray, though. I don't know why. It's just crazy that it's just, it should be very easy to find, and you can't stream it. I don't think. Maybe you can. Maybe I'm wrong, but yes, this is the expanded edition made by Intrada several years ago. Great score, and I also have it on LP. It was in my sister's and brother-in-law's vinyl collection, so it was very nice to have this included. So this one tided me over until a couple of years ago when I got the CD release. So very, very happy to have that in my collection as well. So there you go with that. My number 4 is going to be a very unusual pick. I'm curious to know if this is in anybody else's top 10, let alone top 5. But this is just a favorite Disney film of mine. I really, really love it. The Journey of Natty Gann. A lot of you probably have not heard of this film, and I actually was able to finally get the score just within the last couple of years. It wasn't put out when the movie was released. It wasn't released originally until 2009. So I was finally able to get the score. It's a period piece that takes place during the Great Depression. Natty's father is a widow. He has to leave her behind in an orphanage to find work as a logger in the Northwest. And the orphan woman at the orphanage is a real nasty person. So Nettie decides to take off, run away, go across the country to find her dad. And it was one of John Cusack's first films, I believe. There's John Cusack right there. I think that was the first movie I saw John Cusack in. So, but yes, a beautiful pastoral Americana kind of score, very, very intimate sounding score. Beautiful, beautiful work. And it's for a good reason. It's in my top 5. So if you have not seen the movie, I recommend the movie as well. Meredith Salinger played Natty Gann, and Ray Wise played her dad. So pretty well-known cast. My number 3 is one that's maybe on a lot of people's lists, maybe not on some people's lists, just because they were kind of sick of hearing about it, maybe felt it got too much attention. Anyway, Titanic. This is actually the 4-disc anniversary edition that I picked up back in 2012, the movie's 15th anniversary. It has the original albums of Titanic and Back to Titanic remastered, as well as a disc of songs from the period and a disc of music from I Salonisti or E Salonisti. Not sure how you pronounce it. The Celtic music band that actually performed in the movie, performed some of the source music in the movie. So a great, great collection. La La Land has put out greatly expanded. I think it's also a 4-disc recording of the score from Titanic. These were the original soundtrack albums, so the edits on these albums don't match the music as it was heard in the movie. That doesn't bother me at all. I actually kind of enjoy the album edits of Titanic more than I would enjoy probably the score. That's the reason I have not gone and sought out the La La Land version. It's probably very, very pricey at this point. But yes, obviously one of my favorite scores from James Horner, one of my favorite films from James Cameron. So yes, excellent, fantastic work. And it only gets better from there. My runner-up, my number 2 favorite James Horner score of all time is from Krull, the epic fantasy adventure movie directed by Peter Yates from 1983. Yes, from 1983. One of my favorite sci-fi fantasy films of all time. I absolutely love the movie, love the score. As soon as it came out, that majestic main title music is just epic. One of the best main title sequences in any movie anywhere. It's right up there with Superman, and has a big. The music has a big part. Plays a big part in that. But yes, 2-disc Entrada, or no, excuse me, La La Land release, and I've had along the way, I've had pretty much every release of this score as it came out. I had the original Southern Cross Records release, which was, and actually, yeah, this is the LP version. This was actually in my sister's and brother-in-law's collection. So yes, I had this version on CD in the beginning, and then there was an expanded 1-disc version put out by, I cannot remember what the label was. Picked that one up. That was a limited edition, hand-numbered limited edition. And actually, I have a clip of that I will insert in here and show you that I had that one. Then a 2-disc version, almost identical to this, came out on another label. Had that one for a while until La La Land actually released this 2-disc remastered edition. So yes, absolutely amazing score. I absolutely love it. And yes, you do hear passages duplicated, mostly duplicated riffs on some of the passages from my number 1 score coming up here. You will hear in Krull, but if somebody that does such good movie music is going to repeat himself, you could hear a lot worse be getting repeated. So anyway, I hope you understand what I'm talking about. Anyway, we have arrived at my number 1 favorite James Horner score of all time. Those of you who know me and my entertainment preferences, my entertainment appetites, already probably know which one is coming, though you might not, because you might not know James Horner scored it. Anyway, Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Absolutely amazing score, massive, huge hit. This was like one of his first 5 movies that he ever scored. I might have that number wrong, but yes, when he was given this assignment, he was a very young composer. Does not have much of a track record at that point, but he justified Nicholas Meyer's faith in him by giving him a fantastic, bombastic, wonderful Star Trek score. The theme is probably the most well-known theme, aside from Alexander Courage's original TV theme and Jerry Goldsmith's theme from the motion picture, which was later used as the theme from the Next Generation TV series. And it's only better from there. I mean, the battle in the Mutara Nebula, the theme for the villain Khan was fantastic. Just very, 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 very suitable for a guy who's kind of a bit of a savage, I guess you'd say, has an untamed thirst for revenge against Captain Kirk. He kind of brings that out in the music. But yes, I could go on about this score. And yes, this is the La La Land 2 CD expanded version. And I also have the original LP release from Atlantic Records. Fantastic stuff here. Yes. What can I say? Possibly the best Star Trek movie. Maybe not my favorite Star Trek movie, but definitely the best score from any Star Trek film, I have to say. So there we go. That is my list of my 10 favorite, plus an honorable mention, favorite scores from the late, great James Horner of all time. And yes, you look at his filmography on Wikipedia, he started scoring a good 20 years, 25 years after John Williams got started. but by the time of his death, his discography and filmography could give a real run for the money for John Williams. So yes, he was busy right up until the end. He had 3 films that he had just finished scoring, but had not been released at the time of his death. So he had 3 posthumous scores. So that's how busy he was right up until the end. But yes, Godspeed, James Horner. You have been missed for these last 10 years. I would have loved to have seen what you might have come up with. I'm sure your score for the Avatar sequel, The Way of Water, would have been amazing. And yes, all the other stuff that you would have scored in these last 10 years. But anyway, I could go on, but let me cut this video short here. That'll do it for this video. Be sure to like it if you liked it. And before you go, drop me some feedback in the comment section. I'd love to know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell icon to catch my future videos, hit my username to browse my old videos. Links to my socials and my favorite fellow YouTubers are in the description below. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and remember, life's too short to be a music snob.